Greetings, everyone. This is your boy Gerard, editor of Filipino Soul Magazine, aka S.G.I.B magazine. This episode just got intentions believe that, because everyone should be soldiering for something, a dream, a goal, an idea, a train of thought, something. And on the P.B.G's production stand for photos by Gerard, the best in freelance publicity photography. Well, as I round off my last few days here in Bacong, Philippines, you know, I would love to have, well, I've done all I can here. My mission is done here, sir. And, I'm about ready to move on to greener pastures. One of the primary reasons why I am relocating is because of Helen. You know, when I first moved here, it's like when I was in SULOD, Helen had a nice big yard that she could run around and play in and do all the things that she wanted, chase rats or whatever it was that she wanted to do. So when I moved here, I thought maybe it was perfect because she had that same doubled amount of, quadrupled amount of space to run around in and be a puppy, be a dog, you know. But as I settled in here, the owners of the property or the caretakers of the property started having chickens and goats and things of that nature that I know Helen would have, you know, chased and probably killed and what have you. So Helen ended up on a leash. So she's never really had the freedom since I've been here to run around. Because before we used to close the gate and I used to let her run. But now she's unable to, other than a couple of times that she's gotten away and ran around the other side and chasing their chickens and goats and things of that nature. So that's one of the primary reasons why I wanted to get another place, because I want Helen to, I don't want her to be on a chain. I want her to have that freedom. She wants to run, and I want to give her that opportunity to run. Not only that, where I am moving to, the owner also breeds dogs, so Helen will also, I plan to, they have a male husky, so Helen's boyfriend is awaiting her. So soon she'll be that puppy mill that I've been dreaming about, because she owes me a lot of money. So I decided I'm not going to use papers, because I'm just going to you know, do what I did in New York when you used to breed Jack Russells, just let them go, let them go, let them go. I sold a Jack Russell once for a woman for $1 in change, because that's all she had. And this first litter is pretty much given, the puppies are given away. I have committed to giving puppies to a few people, and I'm going to make sure that they get them. So don't think I haven't forgotten. You will get a puppy, like I said, for Helen. And also, she's also going to have a playmate, because they also have like a 4 or 5 month female Doberman Pinscher that I'm going to purchase from them, so that way she'll have a friend. She'll have another playmate. She finally will have a playmate to run around with. You know, Kobe Bryant just passed away, and here in the Philippines, they recognized him. You know, I never really followed too much about Kobe, because I never really followed any sports that much, other than when I was in martial arts, because then I studied a master's, you know, Tashido Mafuni, you know, who else, Yamaguchi, the cat, you know, the names that I'm sure you don't know, or maybe a few you might have known, but that was a time when you watch a lot of the movies like Five Fingers of Death, The Fist of Fury, you watch them in Chinatown, and they were all under English subtitles, because they didn't dub them then. So if you want to watch a good martial art movie, you have to be prepared to read in order to follow along with the plot line. And soon after that, once it started getting popularized, you know, with the KA system, what was it, Jerome Mackey, you know, a lot of these fly-by-night dojo studios that sprung up everywhere, and karate became the new in thing, you know, then of course, you know, a lot more movies would come out, and they were dubbed, so you got to hear it in English. So, you know, and but that was the time, that was the only time when I was really in sports. You know, I was a tournament fighter, and I think out of about 25 tournaments, I think I won first and second, maybe about About 23 of those. The other one was in third place. I was also in kata and fighting. In fact, I got offered to go to compete in Spain with Ron Van Cleef. You know, he invited me to go to Spain to come fight with him in tournaments. If you don't know who Ron Van Cleef is, he was the actor in The Black Dragon. You know, one of martial arts movie that came out many years ago. But at that time, I was into girls. My first wife, was she my first? My first wife, Carmen, she was Spanish, and I got my first real dose of womanhood. You know, let me tell you, boy, oh boy, oh boy, things were never. I didn't want to go nowhere. I want to stay right, you know. So ultimately, I ended up marrying her, and then the rest, you know, you just have to just, you know, I guess reading my book if I ever finish it. You know, so. And when I joined the service, I joined to go to Japan because I wanted to continue taking martial arts. You know, but unfortunately, you know, when I became eligible for Japan, they were no longer sending troops there. So I said, wait, breach your contract, let me out. You know, and of course, you know, they don't work that way. But anyway, let's get back to Kobe Bryant. You know, I was reading the paper, this Metro Manila Bulletin, and I was struck by this picture of Kobe. I don't know if you could. I'm gonna hold it up here so you can really take it in. It's called the Manila Bulletin, and the caption says that NBA legend Kobe Bryant daughter killed in California helicopter crash. But that's quite a tribute, all the way here in the Philippines, that they gave a front page photo of, and then on the back it showed that him playing the Filipino team here, where he played there. He visited the Philippines 7 times playing basketball. So I think that was a big honor for that they did for Kobe. You know, as I said, I didn't know much about him. I didn't follow much about him because I really wasn't into basketball since Michael Jordan left. But I really like Jordan, so I watched Jordan a lot. But not enough. I'm always amazed at cats who can remember other cats, you know, stats. You know, all the players. The Super Bowl is going to be here tomorrow, Sunday, and you know how they know all the players and quarterbacks and go back. And I'm just amazed that you can be committed to something, you know, that committal and be able to know everything like that. Quick story, and then I'm going to tell you something else. When I was with the NAACP, the national event in NAACP. God, I can't remember what it stands for. The National Advancement for Colored People, something like that. You know, I can't remember what it means. Shame on me. I should know that. But anyway, I got a call from the president, Miss Yvonne Quirk, and she asked me would I mentor a teenager. And so, you know, at that time I was a youth advisor. And I did a lot with it because I've always been involved and wanted to do something with the youth, with the young people. You know, because it's all about teaching the young people. And even here, when there are children around, I tell people, I said, don't you know they are the most important thing in the room? When a child walks into the room, all adult things should stop because they are the most important thing in the room now. And osmosis, learning by osmosis is, you know, can be a wonderful thing, but it also can be a hurting thing. So you want to make sure that the environment is healthy for them. So you always you know, want to make sure that you pay close attention to the children. And if you're an adult in the United States, when you can't walk up and talk and touch and play with children like you can here in the Philippines, which is a beautiful thing. If your heart is sincere, you know, when it comes to children. You know, but in the United States, if an adult plays with the children, like my niece Anna, and her mother Diana and Natasha, Russian, you know. And when she was pregnant, you know, we waited for her to come into the world. And so when she came into the world, of course, for a long time she was scared of me, you know. Every time I come near her, she would cry. And so anyway, so one day she finally let me hold her. And when I held her, it was a whole new different world. We were inseparable. Whenever she came over to our house, you know, she was like right here. She was, you know, I played with her. I mean, I was her toy. As they bring it down to, I was her toy. But I never played with her outside of the sight of their parents. You know what I'm saying? You don't play with people's children, you know, without them being able to see you and that child all the time. You know, you don't go into a room with them by themselves. You don't disappear around a corner by themselves. You always stay within the parents' peripheral vision all the time. So, you know, so Anna and I ended up having a wonderful, wonderful relationship. Matter of fact, last year, when I went back to the States, I saw her. She was a grown girl. I had to leave abruptly because Tatiana and I broke up. But I saw her. She was so beautiful. She was so grown. And I had to apologize for stepping out of her life because I knew she wondered, you know, what happened to Gerard. You know, it's just like where I play tennis. It's this one woman who I keep going because I want to see her. Because when I'm playing tennis, she has a dog. We talked about how one time. But every time she walks by, I would say hello, and she says hello like this, and I want to see her one more time because I want to let her know that I'm moving outside of the area. So I don't want you to wonder what happened to me. That you might one day, you know, but you know, I feel like I want to thank her for all the smiles, all the good mornings that she's given me, you know, that I look forward to and seeing her. You know, and I want to say goodbye. So like yesterday, I waited. The last time I called, I waited, didn't see her. So hopefully tomorrow, I got 2 more days. So hopefully I get to see her. And I want to take a picture of her. So anyway, so I was a youth advisor for the NAACP, and I got asked to be a mentor, a teenager. So I said, okay, I'll give it a try. So the teenager, when I met him, he was tall kid. And you could tell tall kids when they're self-conscious around other kids, their peers, because they tend to want to walk humped over. So you can tell he was like kind of humped, trying to make himself the same size as all the other kids, because apparently they probably gave him some jazz about how tall he was or whatever. So anyways, on his skin he had started drawing tattoos on him. So that kind of gave me a little idea into the mindset, you know, that he was kind of thinking about this, so I just brushed it off. So I asked him, you know, what are you interested in? You know, what do you want to be? Or, you know, he didn't know. I said, are you into sports? He said, yeah. So I said, well, what sport? He says, football. I said, really? Who's your favorite player? He said, Michael Vick. I said, Michael Vick? Wow, that's cool. Why? Why do you like Michael Vick? And he said, because he's in jail. I said, because he's in jail? You like Michael Vick because he's in jail? I said, wow. So I always want to flip the script and turn the negative to a positive. I said, look, I'll tell you what. We're going to start a fan club for Michael Vick here on Long Island. We're going to call Long Island, Michael Vick's Long Island Fan Club. And you're going to learn all the stats, and you're going to learn all, all about Michael Vick. So, and our goal is one day when he get out of prison, that you would get to meet him. Maybe you would write us down once you see the website and all that stuff like this. So I took him to my house, and I created a website, the Long Island Michael Vick Fan Club or whatever it was like this. I said, okay, now the first thing you have to do is start learning about Michael Vick. You have to start learning about his, about his school, some of his achievements, accomplishments, some of his stats. And I had a big TV, so I put all this information on the TV. I said, okay, read about Michael Vick. And that's when I found out he couldn't read. The kid could not read. said, oh, wow. I said, wow, okay, Gerard, we got to find a plan B here because he can't read, so we got to find a plan B. So he said he didn't know what he wanted to do in life. What are the professions he wanted to do? And so I said, okay, look, come with me. This might can help some of you out who want to, help a young person make a decision on what it is that they want to do in life. So I took him to a fire department. I walked in and I said, Commander, I'm mentoring this young kid. Can you show him what firemen do and, what kind of work you do? And there was another fireman there, and there was an off-duty police officer there who was a volunteer fireman. So they took him, we went in the back, and he climbed the big fire engines. He was on the ladder. He had the big boots on. He had the helmet on. And they were telling him about going to fires and all this stuff like this with such glee in their face and everything. And so when we finished, we started walking out there. And so as we walked out, I said, did you notice anything? He said, no. I said, did you notice how happy they were about the work they were doing? He said, yes. I said, okay, come with me. So I took him to a taxi stand where cab drivers are waiting for passengers and all that stuff. I said, hey, look, I'm mentoring this guy. Can you tell him about what a taxi driver does and tell him about your work? Oh, I hate it. I hate waiting for the people. There's no money. They stink. I hate coming to work. And he was like spewing all this negative stuff, really showing how unhappy he was, about being a cab driver. And so I said, okay, thank you very much. And so we walking away. And so I said, did you notice anything? He said, no, what? I said, you notice how unhappy they were about their job? He said, yeah. I said, okay, well, you got a decision that you need to make in life. If you don't know what it is that you want to do, then you got to make a decision that if you want to be happy at what it is you choose to be, or you want to be miserable about what it is that you're going to be. So once you decide on those two options, then maybe trying to find the right profession for you will become easier. Okay, so we're driving in, I got a Lincoln Continental, I do personal driving, all that stuff. So we're in the city, and he reached over and blew the horn. And so I said, okay, we're in New York City, go ahead and blow the horn. He blew it again, burp. Now we drive, burp, burp, burp. And he was just blowing the horn, blowing the. I said, I'm gonna let this little so-and-so blow the horn until he get tired. He was, burp, burp. He blew the horn so much, I knew he was actually tired of blowing it. So anyway, so we came back to Long Island. Long Island is a little quieter. It's a residential. So I picked him up the next time, and we were driving and everything. And he reached over and blew the horn. He went, burp. I said, oh. I said, you can't do that here. He said, you let me do it in New York? I said, yes. But here on Long Island, there is a noise ordinance. You just can't make unnecessary noise for no reason at all. And blowing the horn as you were blowing it is unnecessary. And I might end up getting a ticket because of that. So I'm driving, and he reached over, burp, and blew the horn again. So I turned the car off the road. I put the car in park, and I turned to him, and I said, do you know what you just told me when I asked you not to blow the horn no more, and you still blew it? He said, no, what? I said, you told me, I don't give a fuck what you say. I'm going to do what I want to do, and I don't give a damn what you do or say. And he was like, oh. I said, that's what you do, or that's what you're telling someone when someone asks you not to do something and you still do it. And I took him home, and that was the last time I mentored him, you know, because I had decided that at that teenage age, it wasn't something that I really want to commit myself to, you know, and so let that be the reason why, you know, if you don't know what it is that you want to do in life, at least make a decision to be happy at what you do in life. Another formula you may want to use is making a decision on where you want to be in life. You see, I made a decision to be a photographer, you know, because I couldn't sing, act, dance, tell jokes, and I wanted to be in the entertainment business. I had none of those qualifications or had a desire to pursue them. But I knew where I wanted to be. I wanted to be in the entertainment business. Yeah, that's where I wanted to be. So I looked around the entertainment business and trying to find a profession that would get me there. And so I will be where it is I wanted to be. And that's when I decided to pick up the camera. I picked up the camera. I took a crash course in commercial photography. And I was driving a taxi in New York City. I was driving a taxi, going to school, and also working at Ford Motor Company on the assembly line. I knew an assembly line was not something I wanted to do for the rest of my life. So, while I was driving my taxi, whenever I passed these movie sets, I would drop my passenger off and come back and find out who was in the movie. And I would take my camera out and I would take pictures. And one day I took a picture, I'll tell you the story, we got time. No, 22 minutes. I'll tell you. I took a picture of Richard Burton and Tatum O'Neal when they were filming the movie Circle of Fear. When I was always able to get past security. I have to tell you, always have to get. I don't know where I got that from, but I've always been able to get past security. And I ended up right in front of Richard Burton. I said, Mr. Burton, can I take you? If you don't know who Richard Burton is, he was married to Elizabeth Taylor, and he was a British actor, one of the best back in the day. And he said, sure. Tatum O'Neal, she sat there like a little snot. She wouldn't even look at me or anything like that. So I took a picture of Mr. Burton. And I ran it to the Post, and they printed it. And when I saw my picture in the New York Post, photos by, at that time they called me another name, so I changed it to Gerard. I knew that wasn't the right one. I wanted to use professionally. I said, this is what I wanted to do. And like the Rolling Stone said, I bought 10 copies for my mother. That's what I did. I put a lot of copies of that paper with my work in there. And ever since then, I just went on and doing freelance publicity photography. And when I got to LA, Bonnie Hilton Sweeney, who was the founder of Pre-Grammy Party, she taught me how to network and how to capitalize, you know, on the people you meet, you know, or be around people who are willing to help you get to your next step, because that's what Bonnie Hilton Sweeney was all about. You know? And I know if there's a heaven up above, she's teaching people how to love. We love you, Bonnie, and you know, we love you more. That's why I always love you more. You know, so the moral of the story is that if you don't know what it is you want to do in life, at least decide on where you want to be. We all can't be astronauts in that space shuttle going to the moon. But maybe there's a job you can do, maybe wiping the thing off while it's on the pad. You know, when you're around astronauts and you're around rockets and things of that, you know, you can find a lower level profession that will put you where you want to be, so you will be happy. I was going to tell you something else too. about something. I'll tell you. No, how much time? 5 minutes. I'll save it for another video. This is a positive. I don't want to talk about that right now. So remember, dreams are nothing more than plans. Don't forget on February 3rd, which is coming up at 2:30 p.m. I will be at Metro Dumaguete College speaking to the youth there about my program called Dreams and Nothing More Than Plans for Action. If you can make it, make it. This is my first and only appearance in Dumaguete. You know, it'll be my last because I'm heading out. And I have my spokesmodel Marisol. Come meet her, you know, make her feel warmed and loved. So remember, dreams are nothing more than plans awaiting action. Never disrespect the elderly, always pull someone up. And sometimes you're the only one to see your vision. And the best revenge in life is to live good. I'm living good today. I hope you are too. And if you're lucky enough to have a woman like Ollie Woodson, former lead singer of The Temptations, once sung, treat her like a lady. I'm waiting for Ed to come back from the United States because he's coming back with my year's supply of relaxer. Oh, I can't wait. I can't wait. I can't wait. And my electronic cigarettes. I got to stop smoking this year. Okay? Remember, I'll always love you more. It's just that simple. Because I know you mean more to me than I mean to you. I'll talk to you later.